quick review things of solving equations, using the calculator correctly, remembering how do you set up inequalities, how do you solve inequalities. You guys ever heard the term literal equation? Yeah. When we talk about the literal equation, you guys have all done that before. Think of distance equals rate times time. If you wanted to get rate by itself, you divide by time. That's what we mean by solving literal equations. You do that quite often. You just probably didn't realize that's what exactly you were doing. So, all right. Pick a number. 7. How does one solve an absolute value equation? Do you remember? How does one solve an absolute value equation? All right, let me think of this. Bless you. What is absolute value?
Everything cannot be negative. Inside of the point.
Oh. Distance from 0. That's what I was looking for. Perfect. Absolute value is just distance from 0. Can distance ever be negative? No. You can walk backwards, but you're still walking. It's like a Ferris Bueller. You try to take the miles off and reverse it, it didn't work. So when you're talking about an absolute value, excuse me, an absolute value equation, what we do is we set up two of them. We have to solve for the positive and solve for the negative. And you probably remember that. Vaguely remember that? That's what we're talking about when in terms of absolute value. Excuse me. In this case here, what do you do first? Hopefully you remember this. Subtract 11. Nobody wanted to take that guess and be wrong and so on. Let's see. 9 minus 11 is what? Negative 3? Negative 2. All right. It's early. It's early, yeah. And then obviously your answer would just be negative 2/5. Do me a favor. If you are one of those types of people that like slashy fractions, don't like slashy fractions anymore, slashy fractions become your enemy. You know what I mean by slashy fraction? Yeah, those are just awful. Because eventually you will have a lot of fraction stuff that I don't even want to get to yet. I'll scare you later. We'll talk a lot about weird stuff with fractions because you'll be like, why do they have to have all those things? So, there's one of them, and then the other one would be, this would be what, negative 20? Oh, there you go. Nothing too crazy, right? All right, so let's go back. Oh, I thought it was supposed to be no repeat. So this should be gone now. Okay, what number?
1.
I think this is supposed to, what was that? What was this supposed to be? Oh, I'm nuts. Make this a multiplication.
Alrighty.
All right? Evaluate. We have to math. I think it was supposed to be a multiplication sign, I forgot. Let's see. You know. What are you getting for an answer? -7? Do we agree on -7?
Yes.
I agree on -7 as well. Exponent, you get 25, so it becomes negative 25 times 2, negative 50, 36 minus 50 plus 7, negative 7. Why did that check out? Oh, well. That was what, number 1?
Yes.
All right.
Number 3.
Why is this not going to do this? Oh well. 3. Simplify. I know. A lot of this stuff isn't that tough right yet. This is just more or less a quick exercise in, are your brains pseudo back, bless you, pseudo back from the summer.
Can we start back?
So I'm guessing it's negative x plus 4y minus 10.
Yeah.
Yes, it's.
Oh my god.
Did you think, were you overthinking it?
Yeah. Like
It's,
2x.
it's okay. It's all right. No worries. No worries. I love it when you guys start freaking out. So we've done one. So we've done what? 1, 7, 3. We'll go 11. I heard. Okay.
28.
Ow.
Oh no.
Absolute value inequality. This has been a long time since you've probably seen that. Okay. Knowing that last year you had geometry means you never saw an absolute value thing at all. Go back to Algebra 1, you probably saw it somewhere around in Algebra 1, maybe-ish.
It was there.
Well, you may or may not. I wouldn't worry so much about the teacher, I'm just worrying about the content.
Exactly, she didn't.
All right.
I know what it is.
So,
I don't know.
go back to when we thought when we did the absolute value of the equal.
No, I'll figure
You
it out.
had same thing, and then you had same thing, the negative. Yes, you do.
What? Oh, is this the same thing?
This is the same deal. When you have absolute values of inequalities, you set it up the same way without it, and then you do your greater than the negative 7. And I apologize for having 7s in inequality symbols. That kind of gets a little messy.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
gosh.
Excuse me. Add 1, divide by 3. Add 1, divide by 3. Oop. Somewhere in that general vicinity. Okay. Just trying to see if you remember about that, not the end of the world. Okay? Okay. Did I math wrong? I'm sorry. I'm with you though. That was what, number 11. Thank you.
9. No, I meant no. That was no.
Solving graph. Now, when I'm talking about graphing, do you guys see one variable or two variables?
One.
Yes, thank you. If you see two variables, it means you need glasses. In this case here, we have one variable. So single variable equations, when you graph, that means you're going to use a what? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Number line. Remember that?
That. No.
Single variable is just a number line. All right. Single variable is a number line.
Don't assume that we know this.
I know, that's why I'm saying, that's why I was reminding you. When you're dealing with single variable,
Straight up.
when you're dealing with the single variable stuff, it's a number line. In this case, you have the inequality. Treat it like you would normally, and like I said, you probably remember, add 5, divide by 4. X is going to be less than or equal to 5. You okay with that?
Yes.
Now, on a number line, that looks like this.
Oh, I know this one, I think. Oh,
Now-
yeah.
Yeah, now here's the deal. What I want you to remind you of, when you're graphing stuff via number line, all you're doing is trying to get a visual representation. It does not have to be perfect. So I'm going to put what my answer is in the middle. Do I when I circle it, do I fill it in or not?
Yeah. Yes.
Why do I fill it in?
Because it equals.
Because it equals, good. Where is 0 in relationship to 5, on the left or the right? Left, okay? I always place 0, no matter what. I took my answer, and then I'm always going to place 0, whether it's on the left or the right. It's just Helps you remember where it goes. And then all you do is pick some number bigger than 5.
10.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, could I pick 6?
Yes.
Sure, doesn't matter. Now, which way do you point your arrow then?
Left.
Left. There you go. That's all you have to do for the inequalities. Linear, not linear, excuse me, for a single variable inequality, that's all you have to worry about. Okay. All right, so that was number,
9.
thank you. Next.
5. Hey, I can see that one.
All right. Like I said, we're just kind of rolling through some quick things to see what we remember. 7x plus 12 equals negative 16.
Oh, jeez.
Is it okay if you don't show all your work for some of these? Absolutely. Is it also okay that you could go back and check your work? Yes.
I did it.
Yeah. Today, no. What is it? 7x is negative 28, and x is negative 4. All right.
I did that wrong.
6.
Somebody else, you're annoying me.
Hey, that wasn't me.
You're annoying.
Oh, wasn't you? Oh, sorry.
You're being dispensed.
Ooh.
2.
Compound inequalities.
Not happening.
I look so scary, I don't know what to do. It's just... You guys are going to hate this class first hour of the morning, I think.
I
I have a first hour all 3 years.
We're gonna have it too.
It was like my 12th year still had math first hour.
I have no choice.
All right, so there's 2 ways to do this. There's 2 ways to do this. You can do this where you can write it out twice because there's 2, it's a compound inequality. Solve them separately. You can solve them separately if you like, or solve at the same time.
I did it.
Yes. That was 10.
You can do it that way as well. Does that make sense? Do you guys vaguely remember that?
I know what you
Yeah.
You can go either way with one of those. It's not a big deal. To be honest with you, I would probably split it apart just because I would probably screw something up. I would move one side and I forget to move the other. It's either one is not that big of a deal. Excuse me. So what do we get here? Negative 8 less than or equal to 2x less than or equal to 6.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is.
Okay. And then divide out by 2 and you get negative 4. And then your number line would just be x is greater than.
Put it on a thing too. Oh no.
I think it did, but and that's all that would look like if you grabbed it.
Oh, okay.
So you only solved one of them?
What's up?
No. Solved them both. Oh, okay.
I solved them both at the same time. Yeah, when you have a compound one like that, you can solve them simultaneously, or you can go and pull them apart.
There was like half of it over there, and I was really confused.
Oh, yeah,
Because that's unsolved.
well, look, my twos are pretty. That's pretty consistent on the twos there.
Except
Oh my gosh.
Not the-
I thought that was an X.
For what?
The 5?
Yeah, my 5s are something. My handwriting is something.
Mine
So,
freezes with that.
all right, that was what number was that?
That was 10.
Let's do 2. We haven't done that one.
that was 6.
Did you know it was?
No, I don't think.
I don't know.
I'm usually making stuff up as I go, so.
Swinging it.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
Especially when you get to topics that I know you guys don't know.
Yeah.
Then I can really make stuff up and you wouldn't know any different, so.
I could just put this in the calculator and just do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, he's doing it.
Are you really?
This is cheating.
Wait, I think I screwed something up.
He's doing like 3 numbers.
Oh, divided by 16.
Yeah, I'm doing the calculator.
Oh, I got 12.
Oh, wait, it is times 3. You're right. Oh my gosh. I did that wrong.
So let's see here.
Wait, no, that's that just turns into plus.
You're meant to.
So, well, bless you. Bless you. So, what's the rule for that? Yep. Like as you read it. So then you get 12. This becomes a plus. What is that? 32, 48.
Yeah. Good thing I have a calculator.
Hooray, math. That was 2, right? 12? Volume equals pi r squared times the height. Solve for height.
I think I know how to do this.
That-
Your pi isn't squiggly, and I'm depressed.
You know, that's what happens when you try to just type it in, and that's what you get.
You can type pi.
Yeah, there's a button in here, so
I thought it was just like a symbol that you had to like search for before.
probably. Yeah, typing into the smart notebook is pretty awful.
Type it in. What?
Oh my god. You're joking.
Oh, they're getting rid of Microsoft Paint. It's sad.
The artist fixes it.
Just like yes.
Really? This is what kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
My handwriting
It's
is.
like a whole unit. That's two equals H. Solve for H equals V.
Oh, don't argue with me.
It's great. It's gonna be a great year, guys.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 4.
6. 4. Why are the last 3 like black instead of white?
I don't know.
Are they harder?
I don't know.
Are they easier? They're unlocked.
They're
locked. This is
You have
locked.
to pass the special level to open them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you really have to, but yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I know how to do this. 4, 5, 6. I think this is what I tried that other time.
Wait.
In the simplify one. Dude, me too.
No.
I can guarantee I know what most people will always forget to do on this stuff. When you distribute, you always forget to distribute to the negative to the second term. Same deal with
crap.
puppies and killing the puppies and foiling. Please don't kill puppies.
I didn't realize it
Oh,
was
you're
negative.
bringing that back.
Yes.
My sister cried when I told her you guys don't like said that.
It's a set thing.
I know, my sister has.
I had.
Wait, just 10y minus 3. It's plus Oh yeah.
Does it matter which comes first, the Y or the X?
No.
Doesn't matter. 'Tis not a problem.
It's the season.
That was what?
6.
That was 4?
6.
Well, yeah, I gotta do 6. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I got this. Don't rush me. Important math that I'm doing here. 7 times 9. Wait, I got this. 7 times 9 is 63. I was gonna get there. 63. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry though.
I was gonna say that.
That's what I was doing, but
I've never
learned how. If it's times 1, then I'd be this, so it'd be 9. If it's times 2, then it's this one, so it's
That makes oh my god. That's insane.
What do you do first? The thing. Thank you. Congratulations. You are
Distribute.
yes.
Talking about aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil.
I feel like I'm gonna get
Now we need to make an acronym for aluminum.
It's aluminium.
We don't live in England.
When I don't.
Yes, that's both England. That's everywhere.
I do condone bullying. In fact, I don't like it at all. But in numbers, I like to pick on the little guy. Push him around a little bit. Move to 4. Move to 63.
I think I'm funny and that's
Just keep telling yourself that.
exactly someday.
Let's see. 21 subtract 63 is what? Negative 42.
Yep. Sure.
Divided by 3 and you get what? Negative 14.
If you want it to.
Quick and painless. All right, that was 6.
15.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 8.
It's unlocked. No, believe me.
Solve for y.
Use the Konami code.
No.
Up, down, left, right.
Left, right, circle,
Circle.
Go. If you are of a certain age, you remember Akari Warriors, ABBA, constantly let you keep winning and going back.
I don't know what to do. I quit already.
You can't quit already.
Did I drop the class?
No, but you can put your calculator.
I did.
It didn't work. I'm so mean. I'm asking you to retype it in. I know. What are you gonna do? All right, so this is again what we're talking about in terms of what's a literal equation. You want to isolate a variable.
This is in my head.
Excuse me.
Caleb.
So I'm going to move the x. 2xy equals 12 minus x. 2 times x times y. How do you undo multiply? Divide it out. Now, let me ask you this. Can I do this? No. Why? Because of, oops. Because of the subtraction symbol.
Yep,
You
that's it.
cannot do that. You cannot simplify over addition. You cannot simplify over addition. So what I'd like you guys to do real quick is stand up and raise your right arm, and you're going to take an oath of pledge now, because so many of you in about a couple of months, yes,
Wait.
of a couple of months, will do that, and I will tell you, remember when you did the pledge, and I will yell at you. It's so hard to stand up, bum. All right,
I.
Wesley Jensen.
say your name. What do we say? I want to say I. State your name. You're supposed to know. State your name. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
To math people.
to math people
To never simplify over addition.
to never simplify over addition.
So help me, Mr. Fontana.
So help me, Mr. Fontana.
I got nothing.
We're getting brain.
I guarantee you guys are gonna screw that up. So don't, please.
Screw what up?
You're welcome. You know, I am nothing. I don't think there's.
It's unlocked.
You lied to me.
Is Kayleen here? You gotta put your thingy in. A couple people didn't work. I just want to make sure.
I'm gonna use the calculator. Dude, I got it. Cheater. I'm doing what he did, so it's okay. -7. I don't even need to write down. We're at one. No, I just use the calculator. I'm not thinking.
18 is 35. Wait, is there?
No, you're not. Your capital.
Thank you, sir. So let's see. We got negative 18 minus negative 35 is what? 53?
Multiply negative 7 times.
Wait,
We did that right. I know that's right.
5 times 7, 35.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, I did an extra negative there, so it's 8, so it's 17, isn't it?
Negative.
Yeah, negative 7.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
I'm
we go.
scared.
You see, I never screw up.
Oh.
Never.
14.
I got this.
Okay.
It's,
Carter, Harris.
I know this one.
How would that divide by
Those are writing everywhere. They're boxes. You probably separated.
Yep.
Yours isn't. Stop making fun of me. Yours is But did you write it down? That's an F.
You're right.
You didn't write it down. That doesn't count. You gotta show your work. My mind.
Is Anna here today yet, or she's still not
She's
sure?
actually, I think, like not going to here.
Oh, I know.
Okay. I think I got everybody else. Plus, this is an easy way for me to take attendance. All right.
Is that for me? But I want every day.
And then last but not least,
I just barely have.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, I don't have practice.
Break it into two.
No, it's together. Wait.
yeah, you can solve this one.
I know how to do it. It's fine. I can see all the way around the world. You can if you go to space, but it's all a lie because the Earth is flat. Do the math. Do the math. 2 plus 2 equals the world is flat. Okay. That's beautiful. Don't listen to those fake pictures from NASA.
What do you do when you have to divide or multiply by a negative with an inequality?
Switch it.
Gonna switch it. Good.
I only know that because you asked the question, otherwise I wouldn't. I know you do it sometime. I don't know when.
All right. Remember, whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you always flip the signs. If you're adding or subtracting, it doesn't matter. But as soon as you multiply, you gotta flip it.
What about dividing?
Isn't dividing the same thing as multiplying?
No.
Oh,
Backwards.
okay.
Dividing something in 2 is the same thing as cutting it in half.
Yeah, but it's not the same as multiplying it by 2.
Oh, but it's the same process.
What?
Wait, say that again.
Dividing and cutting in half are.
No. If you divide by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying something by half.
Oh, you said cut in half.
Oh, did I say cut?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. I meant multiply. And there you go. So we did 15. That was just 15, I think.
I feel like we should have done a numerical.
Yeah, I know. Just counting this.
Negative 7.
Says the math teacher.
Yeah, I know. Here's some of these. You need more.
Oh.
I'm not going to have you do all of these. It's just kind of another quick little run through. Let me tell you which ones I want you to do.
Oh no.
I wasn't
Okay,
prepared.
is this homework?
Oh,
Is this gonna be on the final?
Excuse me.
He does.
Oh,
He
yeah.
learns in the world.
Like, this girl, I swear, she's like all that. She's not. She's not one that's the best. Okay, so this was 28.
Chapter 1, chapter 10. Go to the years. That's
This is the challenge. This is not very
Yeah, this was really not that difficult of a test there. So I gave you guys this stuff. What I'd like you to do, let's do numbers. Let's start at 12. Let's do this.
Just do 7 and 8.
Is this homework?
Yeah, you guys got time. I mean, this is real quick. Pay close attention when you. Oh, I did. I already did. No, I didn't. Yeah, rock through those. Should be all right. Okay.
Do you want to see them?
Yeah, you had 10 minutes started on that. Was there spares? I know there were spares because I never count because I just get annoyed. Thank you, sir. I start to count papers and then I just get distracted. I go, oh, something shiny. Thanks for squirrels. All that.
There's the place where it is. Can we do the, like, show all the answers and the workout stuff on a different page?
Yeah, that's fine.